Well, hello everyone. We are back on the podcast. This is the Old Eagles podcast. We normally have 3 people, but today we have 2 people, which is wild to me. We have 2, but a gentleman, Evan, should be joining us shortly. Let's hope he is. He's running late, which is so Evan. Not really, but I don't really know if it's Evan or not. My point is, I need Evan to get in here because I'm tired of waiting for him. We have a show to start. I'm just going to let everybody know, by the way, that I'm going to hop off for like 2 seconds to finish my food before I come back on the screen, because Evan, I know, is not going to get too far into his list of stuff that he's going to talk about, so I'm not too worried. And we don't even have people watching right now. So we're good. Oh, we got people. We got people watching. Hello. Hello. Thank you for tuning in to the Old Eagles movie reviews. Evan, of course, not only is Evan late, but Evan is the leader of the topic tonight, which is terrible because he's leading the discussion and he's late. I don't understand, people. I mean, let's get them together. I thought this was 2020. We did stuff on time, but clearly I'm wrong. I hope you're watching, Evan. I hope you're watching because this is on you. We're supposed to be talking about top 10. I'm gonna call him. Let's do this. Let's do this, guy. Let's do this, everybody. We can watch a phone call altercation. Let's see. Evan Harris. I'll put him by the thing. Here y'all can talk to him. Let's see if he answers.
500. Welcome.
Oh, you want to dodge the call, but he's joining the chat right now. Nice for you to join us, sir. Nice for you to join us.
You're on mute, by the way.
You're on mute. You late and you on mute. You not prepared.
Oh my gosh.
You look like a disgruntled professor. Your eyeglasses were all down. You look all messed up. I was like, dude, what?
I went on GroupMe to find the link, but then GroupMe was like messing up and bugging up, so I couldn't find the link. And then I looked at my phone, but I couldn't get the link from my phone to the laptop. And
early is on time. Early is on time.
I'm sorry.
On time is late, and late nobody heard of that anyway. All of my alpha brothers out there watching, you know what I'm talking about.
I have no clue what you're talking about.
Yeah, listen, regardless, you shouldn't. Regardless of that, what should be the case is you know that you need to show up stuff on time, sir. Don't blame technical difficulty. You tell your professor your Zoom ain't working, but you're still paying that tuition now, aren't you?
Yeah, I am, unfortunately.
All right, so listen, because you were late, you missed my comment. Everybody, thank you for joining us. Evan, thank you for joining us this evening because you are the head of the topic. I'm going to hop off for 2 seconds just to work down the rest of my food. Just 2 seconds. Cool. Because I think it's going to be funny because I want to come back in here because I know you're not going to make it like 30 seconds past whatever craziness you got in this list you're about to say.
I know you are not going to like this list.
Listen, I know I'm about to tear this list up. I saw the idea. Listen, I saw the idea and I said, Evan, man, I feel like I'm about to just tear this to shreds.
Yeah, I found a list of because Box Office Mojo is like super ridiculous right now. That's what I usually go to for like the $1 billion list. But I went on this whole website. It had 46 movies to this day, I think. Yeah, 46 movies since The Rise of Skywalker that have made. I know that's not on the list, guys. That have made over $1 billion. So I'm like, okay, 46 movies. Scrolling through the list, immediately found some other ones. I'm like, okay, I don't know if I'm really going to include this, but yeah. So, I have a list.
Look, you start with your list. I'm going to hop off for 2 seconds so I can just finish my meal because, of course, my life is crazy, running busy to busy. I'm going to still be watching. I want everyone to know I am not off. Like, I will be watching this, ready to hop in. I may even you guys might see me hop in with food if he says something real crazy. So just don't be surprised, everybody who's watching. So, Evan, I'll let you take the reins. Take it over.
Okay, guys. So the funny thing about this list is that, in this modern era, there's been a lot of movies that have made over $1 billion, especially from Disney. Like you got the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which is going to be on this list, and Star Wars, which I'm a huge fan of. I have my own Star Wars podcast, Hyperspace Hype, if anybody wants to listen to that. Um, so then Star Wars and Marvel, you can see that on the list, but there's some other ones here too. I think this list is, I mean, like whether it's fair or not fair, it's going to be predominantly dominated by Disney. There's a lot of Disney movies on here because they own Marvel and Star Wars and other things. So yes. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the bottom. This might ruffle some feathers. I'm looking at the list too. I'm like, should I switch things around? But no, I'm going with my gut. I'm going with my gut first. And number 10, I think Chris might pop on for this one already. But I have Infinity War, Avengers Infinity War as my number 10. Now,
Really?
I do. Now, the funny thing is, because a lot of people like Infinity War better than Endgame. I'm not one of those people. Because it's interesting, because I think walking out of Infinity War, I was with you, right? It was you,
Yes.
me, Jalen, my brother, and Julian. I want to say
Yeah.
Julian was there. Yeah,
Yep.
that's 4, right? Okay, cool.
Mhm.
And I loved it. We were shocked. Of course, like the whole world was shocked that Thanos / Marvel actually did it and killed half the Marvel universe.
We were all in shock in our chairs. Just I remember you had your jaw open. Like Jalen was in fetal position in his seat. I'm
Yeah.
sliding down in my chair. Julian was
Exactly.
laughing. Like, wow, I didn't think that would actually be your number 10. I thought it would be probably
Yeah, it'd be higher. Yeah.
higher.
I was looking at this list and I'm like, there's a couple movies I just like. I'm not the biggest Marvel Cinematic Universe fan. Like, I go to see everyone, some more than twice. But there's some parts of it I'm just like, I'm good. It's funny because I've seen this movie more than I've seen Avengers Endgame. Like, I think I saw this movie 4 times in the theater. Like, I saw it with you. Then I saw like Friday with my Friday or Saturday. It was Friday because we were like graduating. It was 2018.
That's
So
right.
we saw it the Friday before graduation with my dad. And then why did I go see it 2 more times? What was it? Oh, I saw it with Lavelle. That's 1.
Yep.
And then 4 times is something. Maybe I went by myself one of these times. I don't really. Oh, nope. I went with my mom. So yeah, there we go. 4 times. I just calculated it. So yeah, I saw this movie a lot in theaters compared to Avengers Endgame, which I saw twice, I think. I usually see these Marvel movies twice because I go Thursday with the preview screening because I love that audience. And then I go like Saturday with like one of my parents. That's how I usually do it. So yeah, Infinity War is a fantastic movie. I think a lot of people think it's the best Marvel Cinematic Universe movie by a mile because it's just thrilling. It's constantly thrilling. You don't get it really, and this is my gripe, you don't really get time to breathe. And I remember a lot of the complaints about this movie was like, it's too fast paced. No character really has an arc. Captain America comes in halfway through the movie, has like at least a page of dialogue, I think. Just a page of dialogue.
A page? Really?
I don't think he comes in because he saves Blackwood. He saves Scarlet Witch and Vision in Norway. He comes out of the shadows there, and then he fights in Wakanda, and that's pretty much it for Captain America in the movie. Same thing for Black Panther. They fight Wakanda. It's a lot of fighting, and it's very intense. You go from one set piece to the next, and that's really awesome. Like when I'm watching it, it's easily rewatchable. It's so easily rewatchable.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably one of the most rewatchable movies for me until we get to my favorite Marvel movie, which Chris will probably have a gripe with. I mean, it's Chris. He has a gripe with everything. And then, because it's not the most popular Marvel cinematic. It kind of is. I don't know. Anyways, I'm teasing. So yeah, I really like Infinity War. Thanos. This is Thanos' movie. Thanos is pretty much a main character in this movie. He has more dialogue than, like I said earlier, Captain America, Black Panther. Like I think he has the most screen time next to Thor and Iron Man. I think that's how the runtime goes down to. Because I know Thor is like the most prominent character in this movie. Because he has a lot. I like Thor's arc a lot in this movie. Probably more so than his arc in Endgame. I just like his arc here where he has to, or he basically gets eviscerated. His whole what's it called? Asgardians get eviscerated by the Power Stone and by Thanos right from the jump. I love that beginning of this movie. It's very dark and ominous, even though it kind of nullifies the ending of Thor Ragnarok, which I would love a lot too. Because the end of Thor Ragnarok, they're all together and they're best friends, and it's the happy ending. But then you see a big ship, and you're like, okay, Thanos has come to kill off all these people. Even though, like, off camera, they said like, this was before Endgame. They said like most of the Asgardians lived, and we see that in Endgame when Thor's drunk and leading his people in some village in Norway as well. So yeah, Infinity War is awesome. Thanos is great in this movie. I love his fight with Iron Man. It's pretty underrated. And Spider-Man. This is where we first get Spider-Man becoming an Avenger. He has some great dialogue with Doctor Strange, which I love. He's like, "What do they call you?" Doctor Strange. Oh, we're going by our character names. Okay, cool. My name is Spider-Man. I love that dialogue. And the Guardians of the Galaxy are great in this movie, even though Peter Quill angers a lot of fans. It's really annoying. People still hate Peter Quill. Oh my gosh, he ruined everything. I'm like, guys, I get it, but I don't get it.
Like, he saw that happening. So.
Exactly, right? Like, either way, he saw it happening. Which is kind of a funny thing.
This is pure foolishness, people. I've listened to this long enough. First of all, I do not have a gripe with everything. I have a gripe with things that are wild. So the fact that you said that Endgame is better than Infinity War already was complete trash because that doesn't make sense. Secondly, the whole movie was action. The whole movie was action. It's called Infinity War. All right, you don't have a movie called Infinity War and then don't have all action. That doesn't make sense. All right, We Were Soldiers with Mel Gibson. Most of the movie is killing people. Saving Private Ryan has some scenes with killing, but it is a war movie, but it's not an war movie. All right, we didn't spend all this money.
Are you gonna say Infinity War is more of a war than Saving Private Ryan?
No, listen. First of all, I did not say that. What I'm saying is the concept is it's called war. You don't watch a war movie to not see a war. We've been waiting 10 years to see all the characters come together. We're not trying to see an arc. We know the arc. Thanos is here to kill people. That's it. That's the art. Okay. You gotta survive.
Cool. I need time to breathe. As an audience member, I need time to breathe. And we get that. Spoiler alert. Later on, there's another movie with war in the title that I think is written better than Infinity War. Yeah, I know Chris is going to hate that one too. But anyways.
If you say War Horse, I'm going to come over there and I'm going to bust you with a horse.
I never even saw War Horse.
I didn't either, but I was about to tell you crazy.
There's a movie called War for the Planet of the Apes. It's not on the list. It didn't make $1 billion. It didn't make $1 billion. But that movie had a lot of great drama. It wasn't just fighting, even though it was called War. Which I love that one a lot.
It was a terrible movie because I went with a misnomer because I was ready for a fight. So you're right. It has war in the thing, and it was a misnomer.
Who says that?
It was a freaking UN discrepancy. That's what it was. I mean, it was something. Hey, we don't like the way you're treating Ape. The whole movie, he was captured. In the end of the movie, they kind of kill him, and it's like, what the? And then he dies like. He dies like Jesus.
Exactly. I love that shit. I love that stuff.
Well, listen, if you watch that trailer and you saw Caesar, I wanted to see some apes kill folks. But anyway, keep back to your list.
Number 9, speaking of Endgame, number 9 is Avengers Endgame.
I mean, the list was flawed when you put Endgame over Infinity War, but you admitted it. But you admitted that you said people are going to have some problems with it. So
looking at this list, I realized I have all the Marvel Universe movies bundled up together. I guess that's just it. But yeah, Endgame. I think I like this movie a lot because straight from the bat, we get time with these characters to just talk about what just happened. We don't get a lot of war, even though the third act is a lot of nonsensical fighting, which I don't really like.
Nonsensical? We waiting the whole movie for that. I was passed out and I woke up.
Passed out. See, I loved the first 2 acts of this movie a lot. I think there's a lot of great stuff. Tony having a great conversation with his dad, which has been a big prominent part of his arc throughout ever since the first Iron Man movie. He's wanted that discussion, that dialogue with his dad, and he kind of gets that via like the time travel flashback, which was great. And then we get Steve Rogers in the past too, when he kind of meets Peggy, but doesn't really get a chance to talk to her. What other cool stuff do we get in the past? Oh, we get the old Captain America versus Captain America fight scene in New York. That's pretty awesome. I like the emotional stakes in this movie more so than Infinity War for me. I think it's more impactful for me, especially when you get to the end with Iron Man's death. That really shook me.
Well, I mean, duh. I mean, literally, the whole movie was prefaced on, "Oh, we jacked up. There's no hope. We now have one hope, and we're gonna do it right." I mean, that's why there's emotion.
Exactly. I felt more emotional, and I guess like I'm
take a bunch of depressed teenagers and say, "Hey, you're gonna get through high school," and it's a miracle.
Wow.
We were all there. We were all there in high school. Everybody watched,
and we made it.
And we made it. That's what that movie was.
Together we made it. But yeah, I like some of the early quiet scenes with Tony and his daughter. I forget her name. Is it Hope? It's not Hope. Whatever. Tony's daughter's name. I Love You 3000. Just great, memorable stuff there. I kind of knew early on once they started showing Tony with his kid, I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be a wrap for Tony. I thought Tony was gonna die in Infinity War.
They teased it in Infinity War, but like I felt like it was coming, I think it was on my second showing. It's when like, oh, this is when they basically said he's gonna die. It's when he had closure with his dad, because I thought like, why would they put the scene in with his dad? Unless if it meant, so I was like,
it meant something in the.
They were telling you like he's gonna die.
This death scene was so corny.
Wow, I loved it. It's less corny than
I'm Iron Man.
Fantastic.
Like, what?
It's better than like Rey. I am all the Jedi from Rise of Skywalker.
That was still
pretty
bad. That was dumb as heck too.
I'll
give you that. But come on, we watched. I paid $24. I paid all this money for Marvel. No, I listen because listen. I paid $12 for Infinity War, and I paid $12 for it. I paid all this money to see you. Like, come on, I want Thanos to get stabbed. I said, this is the problem. Disney's messing up. We need heads cut off. We need severance.
They cut his head off.
Listen, I need that to be the finality. All right, I need death.
Dang. I mean, this is a kid's movie. I mean, these movies are for...
Which is why Disney's going to mess up Blade and all that other stuff. But keep going. I just want this. That's a problem.
You're not wrong. I'm with you there. Even though Daredevil on Netflix is fantastic, and that's when they have like free reign to do whatever the hell they want. But yeah, I think Endgame is I think it's a great movie. It's not my favorite Marvel Universe movie. I think the next two movies, ironically, might be my top 2 or top 3 MCU movies.
Well, let's hear them both then. Let's hear them both at the same time so I can crap on those.
Okay, cool. Yeah, you probably will. Yeah. Number 7 is Black Panther. And number 6, Chris is going to hate this one. Captain America, Civil War. Captain America Civil War.
Oh,
yes.
We are on.
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah, I knew this happened.
You have these movies at the end of the list, and you're going to put Civil War over Black Panther?
No, that's the thing. Okay.
Go ahead,
David,
David,
okay.
I got something to say.
Okay. I can see how he would put Civil War over Black Panther. I can see that because to me personally,
Javen was there.
Like, and this is just like my own like little thing about it is like I personally think that Black Panther was better in Civil War than he was in his own movie. Wow. That's low-key how I felt.
That's a fair argument. I've heard that before.
Like his fight scenes are better in Civil War than they are in his movie.
I think they're more polished in Civil War than in what's it called? Black Panther. Black Panther uses a lot of CGI, which is kind of unnecessary. Even though I like the fight between him and Cap in Civil War and him and Winter Soldier in Civil War, but him versus what's his name? Killmonger at the end of Black Panther is like my only big gripe with that movie. It's my only gripe. But
that fight scene was amazing.
Wow,
what did you watch?
Good, but it was really heavy on the CGI.
It was really heavy. Rewatch it, Chris. Rewatch it.
It was heavy on the CGI. But like, what Marvel movie is it?
There's some movies like they don't.
You're telling me Captain America's shield is real? Chris Evans is actually throwing the shield around there?
Yes, it's real. No, I'm kidding. No, I know it's freaking fake. But like Winter Soldier, for example, is my favorite Marvel movie. It didn't make $1 billion, so it's not on this list. Winter Soldier is like probably my favorite. But I'd say Winter Soldier's Civil War and Black Panther are so close to me. Like
Civil War was a movie about a character that should have lost, and we all knew he was going to win at the end because he should lose. Iron Man should beat Captain America. The dude's got laser beams. He can summon stuff from the sky. I mean, in what universe does that happen? It's like Batman versus Superman. Batman has to win because if Superman wins, you leave like duh. So we waited 2.5 hours to see an outcome that we knew had to happen, and then it was over. And then listen, Tony Stark is such an intelligent human being. How does he just lose all that intelligence in a moment? You killed my parents. What?
No,
like you don't.
Come on. Wait now. Tony is an intelligent person, but from the first Iron Man, Tony has always been the villain of his own story. Like
Tony is not that dumb. Disney wrote that in and they messed up. Because if you
not that dumb to do what?
Not that dumb to be like, oh, I saw a video of Winter Soldier,
who is a
traumatized, who by definition is traumatized, jacked up, been told what to do. I mean, the dude's crazy. We saw him break out of prison. Listen, he was going through it, and Tony didn't pull the whole suit out. He pulled out his little watch thing. It was like, hey man, I'm not gonna kill you, but I'm gonna try to slow you down, Winter Soldier. And he's over here like, Victor 9 trying to kill folks. What? We don't stab him in the head. You got T'Challa jumping down. People could have killed him, but they didn't. They're trying to detain him. So you're telling me now that you see a video of a dude that you know is mentally ill and unstable, and then you see that video and say, dang, he was told to kill my parents, I'm gonna actually try to fight him? That doesn't make sense.
It totally makes sense to me. I love that scene. It
makes sense.
Maybe you're gonna hate this. This is probably my favorite scene in the Marvel universe. It's probably my favorite scene. Next to Black Panther not Black Panther. Michael B. Jordan, Killmonger, talking to his father in the apartment in Compton. I love that scene in Black Panther. He's having
talking to Sterling K. Brown was amazing.
Yeah, I love that scene. But that's probably the most emotional Marvel Universe movie scene.
But Sterling K. Brown didn't see his dad and then just be like, I'm going to stop my revenge thing. Which makes total sense because it makes total sense. His dad didn't grow up with him. He's pissed. He's upset. That's an emotional trauma. Tony Stark dealing with a deranged, mentally mind-controlled individual? You killed my parents. What?
I agree, though. If you're best friends with somebody in terms of Cap, and Cap didn't tell you this guy killed your parents. And the thing is, Tony never got that closure. We learned that in the first part of the Civil War. He never had that closure. He's not dumb. No. You're right. He's not dumb. But he is very emotionally manipulative. Confused. We learned that a lot in Iron Man 2, definitely in Iron Man 3.
In Iron Man 3, it's just a mess. That movie was bad.
I really like Iron Man 3.
I know you did. We saw it for your birthday, and I was just like, wow, I love my friends. Wow. I was like, I love my friends.
We watched that movie. I already watched it before Infinity War, and I'm like, I might like it.
There's a reason there was no other Iron Mans after that. I'll tell you that one.
Yeah, because he was brought in for Civil War. And this is basically an Iron Man movie.
Oh my gosh.
But I think seeing your mother's death, that brutal too, just banged her head against the car. And then seeing the person that did it right across from you, I can't tell you I wouldn't do the same thing. You're telling me Tony's just supposed to be like,
okay. He didn't know. He was
it doesn't matter.
That does matter. I know. Listen, Evan, if I know that you were out of your mind, deranged, and you killed my mom because you were
different because we have a connection.
He has a connection. Listen,
he has no connection to Winter Soldier. He doesn't even know the guy. Cap does, and not Tony.
If some person on the street is hypnotized and going crazy and kills my family, I'm gonna be pissed at that person.
But you wouldn't kill them. You're kidding.
They don't know what they're doing. It doesn't make sense.
Okay, that's logic. He was reacting off of emotion though in that scene.
And Cap tried to go, but like I'm telling you, have this whole fight scene where you kind of be like, I'm gonna take him down. It's just silliness. You can disagree all you want. I'm telling you right now, that's you loving Iron Man and your emotional connection to Iron Man because you can't even see the foolishness. And then you're gonna have this random dude, this random villain with no powers, just mind manipulate the whole thing.
That's my one little critique of Civil War. I don't think that's the best villain. We'll see him again in Falcon and Winter Soldier. He's the main villain in that TV series.
Oh, really?
Oh, he's the main villain, of course. Because who else can Falcon and Winter Soldier? We got two people that don't really got powers, and we got a guy over here who's got powers. Let's put them all together.
I know, right? He has nearly kind of like has Captain
Winter Soldier is Cable. It's literally Winter Soldier is just the Cable that Disney couldn't buy.
Wow.
That's all it is. Winter Soldier is Cable. Please tell me. Explain to me.
Should I call Sebastian Stan right now and have him correct you?
Tell me what the difference is. We've got a deranged mechanical arm dude from World War II. We've got a deranged mechanical arm dude from the future. The same deranged mechanical arm dudes in different time periods.
Well, I mean, you say it like that. He's on a surface level, they do kind of seem
surface level, dude. It's the same company. They just rewrite. They just remake the same characters over and over again. I mean, it ain't no different.
They do that a lot with their characters. Anyways, getting into the meat and potatoes, I agree. Iron Man's decision is dumb, but it's very emotional, and I understand his emotional response to it, which is I'm telling you, I would do the same thing. I would slaughter Winter Soldier if I saw the person that killed my parents, who I never had closure with. Oh, that would definitely.
But you knew that they were mentally disturbed and under mental hypnotization.
I cut them to pieces, but that's just me.
Well, listen, I'm not talking about Evan when it comes to people with mental problems. I can tell you that right now.
I know this is going to come across very badly.
This is going to come very. I'm literally sitting here on this show. Like, I hope people are watching because there's a lot of insensitivity here, folks. I apologize for this insensitivity on the air right now. Please do not cancel him. Do not cancel him.
I'm trying to say I understand. Yeah, what Chris said is true though. But what I'm trying to say is that I understand where Tony was coming from. Of course, throughout this whole movie, Tony is very wrong. The movie is supposed to gear you towards Captain America's side. It's kind of right in this scenario. Even though it's kind of wrong too. Like, Cap is also very emotionally connected to Winter Soldier, who has done some bad things. And that's kind of like Cap's weakness, especially after Cap loses his only other connection to the past in Peggy Carter in the first act of this movie. That's why I really like this movie. A lot of stuff that happens in the first act has a lot of payoff towards the third act. Because Cap has lost nearly everybody that he's grown to love from the past, and he doesn't want to lose Winter Soldier, regardless of the fact that he killed Tony's parents and
he lost Terrence Howard. It's terrible.
Oh wow! Next time, baby. Next time.
he lost Terrence Howard. I'm just saying that. Listen, Terrence said Robert wouldn't call him back. That's what he said.
He wanted a bigger paycheck. He thought he was hot stuff, but he was wrong. But
I mean, Maine.
At least he has
everybody.
Empire, right?
I mean, Robert Downey Jr. doesn't have gifts of Maine. Nobody talk about Maine. We just say,
oh no, poor Robert Downey Jr. is $80 billion. But
yeah, he's doing Dr. Doolittle.
Oh,
nobody forget Tropic Thunder though. We should cancel Robert Downey.
But I want to talk about Black Panther 2 real quick, because I think Next Civil War is very close. I love this movie so much. But like Javen was saying early on, I think Black Panther isn't the star of his own movie in a way. He is fantastic. I love Chadwick Boseman in this. But I mostly like Lupita Nyong'o. What's his best friend's name? The assassin woman from Walking Dead, Chris.
Oh,
do you know her name? Well, whatever.
I don't know her name.
But she's a girl from Walking Dead. We all know her. She's awesome. She's amazing.
I just know M'Baku.
From atop the mountains.
Yes, we are vegetarians.
That's a great line. But yeah, I love this movie. I think before Thanos came into play, I think Killmonger was easily the best villain in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I just thought his motivations were very compelling, very understandable. Even though, of course, as all villains do, he has to go a little bit too far. Even though Black Panther does kind of end up conceding to Killmonger's ideals, or at least his philosophy in a way, not really his ideals, in the end of the movie. So yeah, I really like that movie. Marvel,
do you believe a kid?
The MCU
a kid from Southside can believe in fairy tales.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Wait, what did he say? Where was he from?
A kid from Oakland.
Yeah, a kid from Oakland. Fairy tale. I said, what? That was the line you gonna give him when he dies?
He's dying, man.
That just was so corny. I mean, this whole movie, he coming up with this strong, like pulling up. I'm the king. I'm the kid from Oakland. Believe in fairy tale. I'm just like, what?
I liked it. But
oh, you like that, but didn't like the fight scene.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah. Yeah. I think I just think like as they're falling down is really cool, but when they get to the fighting like across from the trail, the railway scene, like Javen said, it's very heavy on the CGI, especially when the mask comes off in a little pixelated manner, just very iffy.
You know, Thanos is entirely CGI, right?
Totally, but so is freaking Caesar, Planet of the Apes, and they look good because it's mocap. What's it called? Michael B. Jordan isn't doing mocap; he just has like CGI dots on his head or whatever.
You know, Josh Brolin played Cable and Thanos. Does that mean he's Winter Soldier too?
Oh, jeez, maybe yes.
All right, so you look. I'll give you Black Panther: Civil War. I think Black Panther should be higher than Civil War. I think Infinity War should be higher than Endgame. Yeah, Infinity Game. That's what it was.
Yeah, towards the top of this list, Chris is going to get even more mad, but this can be fun.
I'm not. Let's not say mad. Let's say
more heated,
deeply concerned.
Deeply concerned. Okay, cool. The next movie is one that we've talked about, I think, during my last podcast with the Pixar movies, and that is Toy Story 3.
That's $1 billion.
That's $1 billion. It made a lot. It was the highest grossing animated movie before Incredibles 2, I think. Or maybe Frozen 2 beat that. I'm not sure. But it was on this list.
I'll let you have that BS, but okay.
Yeah, I love Toy Story 3. I think it's one of my favorite. I think it was nominated for Best Picture, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, we talked about this in our last Pixar podcast. It's not my favorite of the Toy Story movies. But as a movie by itself, I think it's a fantastic, near perfect movie. It's just so hard to rank because Toy Story, I guess, quad trilogy now, or whatever you want to call it. With 4 movies. I think Toy Story 3 is an excellent movie. They're just all so perfect, even though Toy Story 4 is kind of like an 8 out of 10. Everything else is like a 9 or a 10 out of 10. I think this is a 10 out of 10. So I think Toy Story, I forget. Maybe I'm backtracking what I said last time, but I do like Toy Story 2 more. I forget which one I said was better, Toy Story 3 or Toy Story 1. But either way, I think both are fantastic movies. What's the freaking union boss's name again?
Lotso, the union boss. What's that guy? Ed something Lewinsky? What's his name? You know that guy from Chicago, right? Like it's,
yeah. Life union boss from Chicago.
Let me see. Not Monica or Winsky or something. What's his name, guys? What's his name? I'm mixing up these people's names. You know what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about. I cannot get the name though.
Labor fighter, Chicago.
Put that in there.
Labor fighter, Chicago. Firefighter union leader stands up. No, that's not it. What is it?
Yeah. The main boss in Toy Story 3 is excellent, though. I think, even though I think Chris was crapping on
Salinsky. Yeah, Lotso is Saul Salinsky. All right, but anyway. Saul Salinsky. I'm just saying. I'm just making jokes, people here. But really, though, Lotso is a union boss. You got to put in your time, and you don't have to be with those preschoolers no more.
That's one of the most horrifying scenes, though. Like when I rewatched Toy Story 3, like when they first go into the preschool area, and all the other toys kind of like scoot out, and our main like group of protagonists are just waiting for the kids to come back, and they get back and start tearing all the toys to shreds. It's like very dark, horrific, but in a funny way.
Evan, real quick, one of our watchers, Edith Sitwell, she just always want to let you know she agrees with you on the CGI piece of Black Panther.
Thank you, Edith, because a lot of people do. I'm telling you, Chris, you watch it. It's my one gripe against Black Panther. I think Black Panther is an excellent movie.
Same.
But the overabundance of CGI kind of hinders that, which you don't see a lot in other great action movies like Winter Soldier. I guess it has to do with the whole costuming of Black Panther.
Okay. Well, I don't know. I'm sorry. I didn't want to interrupt your
No, you're right.
I just wanted to acknowledge the comments. It just came in.
I love the comments. But so yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on Toy Story 3 because we've already talked about it. It's a great movie. I love it. It's one of the best animated movies for me. I'd probably put it. It's funny having watched all these Ghibli movies because I don't know if you guys know. Like I have HBO Max and I'm binging a lot of the Ghibli movies. I'm like, some of these might be cracking into my top 10 or 15 or so.
Are you just now watching them for the first time ever?
Some of them, like I've seen Spirited Away of numerous times, but most of them I've seen for the first time. Like I just saw Princess Mononoke.
You're on drugs.
Thank you. I don't really do drugs. I pay.
Bro, what? It took you this long to see that?
Yes. You can't just Google up like a lot of these Ghibli movies. It's very hard to find.
I can find them on Amazon right now.
I mean, if you, I don't want to like. I'm pretty sure you can't like watch these on YouTube. I could stand corrected, but if I put in like Spirited Away, let me see, Spirited Away. It won't show up on like a YouTube or Amazon Prime or anything like that. Okay, YouTube. I have to pay $12 for most places to watch a Ghibli movie.
That's crazy.
Which is ridiculous.
Just buy it on Amazon. I mean,
same thing for Amazon. It's like you get to pay for the whole big $12 or $15.
Just buy the movie. Yeah, it's a good movie.
I don't want to. I mean, Spirited Away is excellent, yes, but
all of Ghibli's movies. So like you're watching Princess Mononoke and you sat there and watched it on HBO Max that you paid I don't know how much a month. You gonna tell me that's not worth $12?
$14.99. And
I got it on my shelf, people. I want everybody to know
I
got it on my
shelf.
shelf.
I got it on my shelf.
I do. It's amazing.
But yeah, so I'm watching all these Ghibli movies. I'm like, oh, these might be better than a ton of Disney animated movies. Having said that, I think Toy Story 3 is one of my favorite, at least of this decade, animated movies. And then, okay, this is where we get to the interesting stuff here. The only, and is it the only? It might be the one of two Harry Potter movies to crack $1 billion. And this is not my favorite Harry Potter movie, but I had to include it on this list because I am a huge Harry Potter fan. As a little preface before I say the movie, like I used to like. There was a point in my life where I liked Harry Potter more than I liked Star Wars. I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but after 2005, after Revenge of the Sith came out, and I was like 9 or 10 years old. There's a point where I'm like, okay, no more Star Wars movies. That's when I really became invested in Harry Potter. And this is before like The Force Awakens and everything. But anyways, the movie that is number 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5 on this list is The Deathly Hallows Part 2.
That's fine too. I ain't got nothing to say about that.
Cool, that's great. Cool, we're all in unison on this one. That's great.
I don't like getting loud. You know, I feel like it's scary.
I don't like getting loud. Okay, cool. That's cool. Sure. I don't believe you, but it's cool. Yeah, but you should. But yeah, I love the Harry Potter saga, or I don't even want the freaking series. Yeah, Harry Potter franchise. And it's funny because I would rank Harry Potter and Deathly Hallows Part 1 pretty low. I'm not the biggest Harry Potter Deathly Hallows Part 1 fan. There's a point where they're just arguing near the lake. I don't think the character work in that movie.
Did you read the book?
I love the Deathly Hallows book. My favorite book is probably my favorite movie, which is the Half-Blood Prince.
Oh,
that's probably my favorite movie.
That's your favorite movie?
Totally.
Oh,
I know.
Keep talking about this, bro, because I'm about to just stay on the topic because we're not about to. We got to take a whole tangent. I know how terrible that foolishness you said. Because what?
But I think Deathly Hallows is tied. I stand corrected. Tied with what I think most people would definitely say. I think the vast majority of fans say Prisoner of Azkaban is the best Harry Potter movie. Is that what you're going to think, Chris?
No, I don't agree. Even though it's popular, I don't agree that it's the best one. I mean, it's the only one that got an award.
It is.
It is true, right? But my favorite is Goblet of Fire.
Wow, interesting.
Listen, I mean, look, there's only 2 movies that don't have Voldemort in it: Prisoner of Azkaban and Half-Blood Prince. So you really have to take the focus on something that's not Voldemort because Voldemort's not the main thing. So I give them the respect and that they're hard movies to really get appeal on because every other movie has the same villain no matter what, and whatever. Half-Blood Prince was just a love story about confusion and silliness.
Which is probably why I loved it.
Maybe that's why, because it was just there wasn't much else they could put there. It was just Harry going through the year, understanding and really trying to figure out what Voldemort's weaknesses was, and they had to throw something else in there to make it a tangible movie and not a kind of a mystery book. So I really didn't like the way they put it together, because I waited the whole movie for literally we all waited for Dumbledore to die the last 30 minutes of the movie. I mean, the whole Inferi thing, like that was really the only part of the movie that was actually good. The rest was just kind of this confusing, Malfoy put an apple in a thing and now that apple came out. I mean, it was not that good. I don't want to go on a tangent too much, but that movie was bad, Evan. I'm really shocked that you said that was good in any way, shape.
I think Half-Blood Prince has the best character work, the best cinematography in the franchise.
You just like character. You say just because a character is complex and you're like, it took six movies for Malfoy to be vulnerable and not just this kind of scary dude, that makes it better. You're talking for me. I fully agree with everything you just said. Yeah. Listen,
I think Malfoy is fantastic in this movie.
You just like it because Malfoy is something other than what he was. He's a scared little boy, and you like to see
scared.
The fact of the matter is, I don't need to see a whole movie of them showing me that, because I've known he's scared since the first movie. We've all known he's been scared since the first movie.
But we don't get it. We don't dig into it, Chris.
We don't care. He's just a spoiled little kid. And now that he's grown, it's like, let's dig into it because now he's a mature adult. Well, listen, he hasn't gotten over it. He's doing what he said to do. That doesn't make it better.
He's trying to do. This is why I love Malfoy as a character. He's one of my favorite characters in the books. I think he kind of got gypped towards the end of that. Definitely, I think he could have had a better redemption in Deathly Hallows Part 2. There's a deleted scene. There's a deleted scene where he grabs the wand and he throws it to Harry. So there's a little short moment, but he throws it to Harry and helps out Harry to defeat Voldemort.
Silly. That's one of those. I'm glad they took that out.
It's one of those things where it works as a deleted scene. One of those things where it might not have worked in the full film.
That's not how it happened in the book. Hell, Part 2 isn't really how it happened in the book at all. So
you're right. You're right.
That was not. I mean, there was some fighting, but these people were just. I mean, this was Armageddon at Hogwarts. That was nothing like the book.
I mean, the book was pretty dark, though. I mean, are you saying it was more?
No, I'm just saying the battle at Hogwarts was not the Armageddon that the movie made. It was.
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, but anyway, they had to do.
It wasn't as it wasn't as big.
I mean, if they're gonna make me pay $12 to see a 2.5 hour movie, I gotta see some stuff, and I definitely want to see some wizards go crazy.
And we've talked about this in the Endgame discussion, or I guess Infinity War, and how it's a very much action. But in Endgame, I like Endgame a lot because there's points where a lot of characters are just talking with one another. They're having great discussions, while also the third act is very action heavy. And I kind of liked that in Deathly Hallows Part 2 as well. I think that there's a lot of great moments early on. They're recovering from what's it called? Dobby's death at the end of Part 1, which is really great. Hermione and Ron's relationship is kind of fulfilled in Part 2. I really like that. I'm a defender. I don't know if anybody else is, but I'm a defender of the Ginny-Harry relationship. It's kind of weird, but I always did like them in the books together.
I don't got a problem with it.
It's not as executed well in the Half-Blood Prince or Deathly Hallows movies, but I really like Ginny and Harry together. I guess my one gripe with this movie is the post-credit sequence. I don't even know if it's post-credit, but the epilogue sequence where they're all parents and they have their kids next to them. It's kind of done a little bit weird with all in terms of the makeup department. But I always like the whole epilogue in the books. Yeah. And then what else? I just like the book. I like the movie a lot. I think it's a very rewarding and fulfilling Harry Potter movie coming all this way from 7 movies. It's definitely better than the first Deathly Hallows. I think next we can move on to.
Just had to create some controversy with that Half-Blood Prince thing because I wasn't gonna say nothing.
Okay, yeah, this is where we get to the Star Wars of it all because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. This is great because again, like I'm saying, I have a podcast called Hyperspace Hype.
Shameless
If anybody
plug.
wants to listen, thank you very much, David. If anybody wants to listen to that,
How do we talk about a franchise that's dead? I don't know how you do that.
Star Wars is dead. Everybody, Disney ruined Star Wars. Shut the heck up. Anyway.
I didn't say Disney ruined it. I'm just saying it's over. I mean, it's over.
I mean, it's not really over. There's gonna be more movies. The next movie's coming out in 2023. But anyways, getting into The Force Awakens. The Force Awakens is an excellent movie. Oh, this is my number 4, actually, by the way. Is it number 4? Yeah, number 4 is The Force Awakens. And I'll kind of bunch them together because number 4 is The Force Awakens. And number 3 is my favorite Star Wars movie of all time, next to The Empire Strikes Back, and that's The Last Jedi.
The Last Jedi.
I love The Last Jedi so much.
I didn't mean to cut you off. My bad.
Yeah, sure.
I don't so I remember so I saw Last Jedi a year. It was about a year after it came out.
Yeah.
Because that was when there was just so much negativity I saw on Twitter going on.
Yeah.
And it kind of zoned me out of Star Wars in general until I forgot what it was, but someone convinced me one day to sit down and watch it.
Probably my endless tweets about it, yeah.
And I'm watching the movie and I'm like, this is actually a good movie. I don't understand what the issue was, but people I remember people didn't like the character. People didn't like the character Rose. They thought Rose and Finn's whole little story in the casino was a waste of time or whatever.
That's exactly what people say, yeah.
That's what people said. No. Let's not say that's what people said. Let's say
I've gotten
that's what people said. No, let's say that's what is, not what people said. That is the truth.
I didn't think it was worth
it. Thank you, David. Me neither. I thought it was excellent. But I'll start off. I can't talk about The Last Jedi unless talking about The Force Awakens, which I think is J.J. Abrams' second best movie he's ever done. I was, before The Rise of Skywalker, at least. I was a huge J.J. Abrams fan. I think his best movie is the reboot of the Star Trek. So I was very happy to see him do the reboot of Star Wars in a way. It's not really a reboot; it's a sequel. But so yeah, I love The Force Awakens. I love the characters of Rey. I think he has excellent character introductions with characters like Rey, especially Kylo Ren / Ben Solo and Finn. I think they're excellent characters. The characters that he didn't do as well in are characters like Poe, played by Oscar Isaac. I don't think he gets the best character work. He's kind of like that fly guy, cool guy, doesn't really have a lot of problems. He's kind of he's a flat character in The Force Awakens, and which is why I like him a lot in The Last Jedi, but we'll go into that. In The Force Awakens, I just like the movie as a whole a lot because I think a lot of the criticism people say against The Force Awakens is that it's a very much what do they say? It's like a retread of A New Hope, which I think on the surface level, you can definitely see that. But on digging deeper, looking at the characters, especially the character relationship, which I love, between Kylo and Rey, it's that's definitely not anything you see in The Force Awakens, in A New Hope. Definitely not. And the whole Kylo relationship with Han Solo. There's a deleted scene where Kylo Ren boards the Millennium Falcon. He kind of reminisces. He says his name. This is when Han Solo just gets to Starkiller Base. I wish they really kept it into the movie because they don't really let you. How should I say? They don't really let you dig into Kylo Ren's head. Besides the whole moment when Snoke tells him your father Han Solo, this is your final trial, and he's he means nothing to me, even though he totally means something to Ben. And we kind of get that on the bridge scene, which I think is fantastic. It's one of the best acted scenes in Star Wars between Adam Driver and Han Solo. Say what you want about the sequel trilogy, but the acting in the sequel trilogy I think is fantastic, especially from Adam Driver. Huge Adam Driver fan, by the way, if nobody knew that.
We're aware.
Okay, cool. And yeah, I think I love The Force Awakens a lot. I've loved it ever since it came out. It's probably my third or fourth favorite Star Wars movie. I just connect with these characters more than I don't want to see more than Luke, Leia, and Han in A New Hope, but it's easier for me to watch The Force Awakens than it is to watch A New Hope. I just find that movie very rewatchable. It kind of doesn't hold up, having just witnessed The Rise of Skywalker. a lot of the things planted in The Force Awakens don't really make sense, even though J.J. Abrams kind of directed both movies, which I kind of don't like. Yeah, J.J. Abrams is a very particular, weird person. He can't follow up his own storyline. Like, this is a direct quote from Rey to Maz Kanata at Kanata's castle, where Rey's like something about her parents, and Maz clearly says like, your parents are dead. Nobody's waiting for you except for Luke Skywalker. Like, what waits beyond you is ahead. Like, you just got to keep pushing forward. But for some reason, JJ wanted Rey to also go back and remember her parents and Rise of Skywalker, which is kind of unnecessary. But anyways, I don't want to dig into the Rise of Skywalker. The Force Awakens is an excellent movie. I love the lightsaber fight between Kylo Ren and Finn. It's pretty underrated in my opinion. And Rey catching the lightsaber at the end of Starkiller Base is pretty fantastic. I love their fight. It felt very raw. They're both untrained lightsaber duelists. I loved it a lot. And yeah, Kylo's whole conversation with Rey too at the end there is amazing. I just love Kylo Ren a lot. So yeah, anything you have to say about The Force Awakens real quick before I go on to The Last Jedi? Chris? Nope.
I
nope.
got nothing to say.
Okay, great, cool. That's amazing. I know how much much you love The Force Awakens. Jedi.
Force Awakens is much better than The Last Jedi. I'm actually just so appalled at what you said.
Shocked and appalled
that I wanted to look this up and tell you that I would rather play Marvel versus Capcom than watch The Last Jedi.
Huh. So you're more of a gamer than a movie guy. Okay.
No, I'm telling you that I would much rather play a game that was made 20 years ago on an arcade system, 2D fighting.
Okay.
Than watch a 2-hour movie about a character. The characters have no sense being there. Okay. All right. So we got no sense being there. We got Rose. What does she serve? No purpose. I listened to this whole thing. And I'm like, wow, what are we just talking about? Like, I don't know what.
I didn't even get to Last Jedi yet.
Oh, yeah, sorry. We mentioned that.
Let's go to Last Jedi.
Let's go to Last Jedi. All right, so look, we're going to transition. Force Awakens was an angsty teenager who's pissed at life. And he just wants to take that out. It's an angsty teenager at the wheel of a galactic empire, and it's disgusting. All right, so I've said this before. You literally gave a teenager who's upset at life and confused.
23 years old.
For those of you who don't know, I've heard this argument before when the movie first came out, because this man terrorized Evan for months. About him liking Kylo Ren.
A literal teenager. I am evil. Oh my gosh, you are an angsty teenager, and you're just mad at the world, and you happen to be the leader of a galactic force. So now it's not even about let's blow up planets because we want to take over the galaxy. I'm gonna blow up a planet because I'm mad that I can't win a game. I can't win. Oh, I'm gonna kill my dad because I think that killing my dad is gonna give me some ultimate power. And
that's Star Wars for you. That's Star Wars for you.
You didn't get any power at all, kid.
No, he didn't.
In fact, all you did, you were so mad at yourself that you destroyed your mask. You broke your mask.
Yes, you did.
That was so powerful.
It was powerful. It was a very powerful and impactful emotion.
Moving on to Last Jedi.
No, I was moving on to Last Jedi with that. He was just so mad. He's like, I'm going to break my mask.
He broke it not because of killed Han.
Let me pray to the dark force spirit of my grandpa who actually was already redeemed. So now you have to wonder, okay, who's Kylo talking to? Because it's clearly not. It's not Anakin.
They never really did answer that, unfortunately.
There we go. Because he's deranged. He's just out of this world. He's a bad teenager.
I guess you can say he was talking to Sidious.
Angsty teenager. Then take the angsty teenager and put him in Last Jedi, and now you see him get schooled by his daddy. He pulls up, and then Snoke, he's like, "Shut up, you child!" And I'm like, "Thank you, Snoke. Thank you for talking about what Kylo really is."
Is Snoke a predator? Snoke is a disgusting predator.
Snoke is not a predator, first of
all.
He
was preying on Kylo Ren since he was a boy, and he kind of manipulated him through the
preying on him since he was a boy. Luke tried to kill him. I mean, what else? He didn't have to manipulate.
Luke isn't away from the sins either.
Luke didn't prey on him. He tried to kill him.
Luke also put a lot of pressure on him, and he didn't try to kill Han. It was a second of hesitation. A split second.
He had his lightsaber drawn in the child's tent while he spoke. I think that if you want to talk about this crazy stuff about it's okay for Iron Man to kill Black Panther, kill Winter Soldier over minutes of a mentally ill, deranged person, you should then tell me that a grown man with a lightsaber out and you're sleeping like this, you telling me you're not gonna be upset?
No, I completely understand both sides of that scene because it's very relatable. Luke, who just risked everything.
I was upset. Mark Hamill
was fantastic. He should have got Oscar nominated for this role as Luke Skywalker.
What?
This is yep. This is the best Luke Skywalker we've ever seen. I think
Luke did nothing. All he did was meditate and did nothing. You went down in the pit. You didn't even fight it. What was that? It was there.
He didn't fight the dark side. That's what makes Rey such an interesting character. Because unlike Luke in like The Empire Strikes Back, for example, Luke is very much I can't do this. And Yoda, that's why Yoda famously said, like, do it or not, there is no try. Luke is very unwilling to the forces of the Force. Unlike Rey in the Last Jedi, who was very receptive to the Force, even in The Force Awakens. She kind of runs away from it, but then she kind of uses it to fight back Kylo on Starkiller Base. And that kind of continues on The Last Jedi, where Rey is very perceptive into the Force. She's very curious about the Force.
I don't even know what number we're at, but I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to tell you this. I don't know what number of a movie. I think it was Last Jedi's number 3.
Last Jedi's number 3, yes.
Okay,
sir.
Listen, man. That thing should be a number never on the list.
Wow.
Because
I'm sorry, everybody, but The Last Jedi is better than every single Marvel Cinematic Universe movie. My name is what's her face? Look, Carrie Fisher's finest moment. Yeah, did people want her to die or something?
I didn't want her to die. I'm saying it was just silly. You blew the ship up, and it's now she uses the Force. Now she's immune to space stuff.
I mean, I understand people watching movies is probably the first time seeing that, but that happens a lot in Star Wars.
I was crying, laughing. It was so silly.
I thought it was pretty fantastic. And She's a Skywalker. It makes complete sense. She used the Force.
Yeah. It makes complete sense in your mind, right? Maybe you're Winter Soldier and I'm Iron Man. I'm trying to get
you don't automatically die if you get sucked into space. I don't know if you know that or not, but you don't automatically die if you get sucked into space.
I know you don't automatically die, but she was chilling there for a little while. And
Jedi has survived from far less. And there's a great there's a great internal dialogue in the book, The Last Jedi novelization, where Kylo, who also didn't fire on his mom, by the way, everybody. Some people confuse that all the time. But there's a line where Kylo said, like, he wishes he could pull Leia back into his ship as soon as his co-pilots fired on Leia. It was a pretty deep moment.
I mean, why couldn't he? I mean, he's a Skywalker.
He could, but he's still working for Snoke at that point. Kylo is fantastic in The Last Jedi.
Let the past die.
Yes.
Kill it if you have to.
Yes. And the beautiful thing about the quote is Kylo can't let the past die.
Oh, God. This guy was saying these lines in the mirror the whole movie. I'm like, this dude was a little teenager in his room. Upset at life. Like, I'm bad. Yeah, I'm bad.
On that note, Evan, what's your number 2?
Is your forehead okay there, Chris?
Oh, my God.
I can't end it with this nonsense. I gotta say,
Evan, hey, Leia, we should fight back. We should just sit here and take it. We can't do that. Like, what is this about? Oh, well, let's bring a character in just to suicide, kamikaze the ship. Why didn't you do that before? We wasted so much time.
What do you mean before? Like, she wouldn't. Why risk everybody's life on that ship? She
should have let them all go first, and then just said, "I'm going." We didn't have to do that.
To get closer to Crate. Their whole mission was to get closer and closer to Crate. You can't just do that earlier on, because where are they going to parachute to, or where are they going to use their escape pods to? The middle of space? Like, come on.
I don't know. We got a Skywalker. Anything's possible. Oh. Let's do force teleportation, bro. Ninjutsu. Oh, I'm Leia.
There's disrespect. Before I go to my number 2, that's it. Leia is fantastic. Leia is fantastic in The Last Jedi. Luke is fantastic. Kylo versus Luke is a fantastic scene. Kylo and Rey, fighting off the Praetorian Guards is one of the best in Star Wars history.
I want my dad's lightsaber. No, I want that lightsaber.
Fantastic. The Last Jedi is the best Star Wars movie of all time.
Everything. I'm going to kill him. Oh, I'm sorry, sir. Hello, Kylo.
Getting into number 2, I have Jurassic Park. Wait, are you upset about that, motherfucker?
Hey, whoa, Evan.
I'm sorry.
Why is it that you always forget this show has people on it? You're always the one cussing. As much as you joke, you want to talk about how much I cuss in
from him.
I'm sorry.
You got him worked up from Star Wars.
No, it's not from Star Wars. Like, how are you going to be gasping over Jurassic Park? Jurassic Park is a perfect movie. Am I incorrect here? Am I incorrect?
Jurassic Park's all right. I don't think it's
all right.
I mean, but I don't.
Wow.
I never been like a crazy fan of Jurassic Park, but I like the movies.
Which one?
You are being a big disgrace to John Williams, the greatest composer of all time here.
Samuel Jackson. All right, I'm gonna go there.
Yeah, Samuel Jackson.
Never came back.
Didn't he die in Jurassic Park?
R.I.P.
Yeah. He literally, they didn't even show him die. He just didn't come back.
Yeah, whatever. But I love Jurassic Park. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. Came out in the 90s. One of the best movies of all time. I think I was about to say 96, but I don't think it is 96. 94?
I'm surprised you didn't say The Lost World with your boy Jeff Goldblum.
Why do you keep saying my boy Jeff Goldblum? I don't have a huge
thing with Jeff Goldblum.
No, I don't. He's okay. He's cool.
You literally are like, I love Jeff Goldblum. You were so hyped over Thor.
I never said that.
Because
Jeff
Goldblum was in it.
No, I was not. I was more hyped because of Tessa Thompson. But anyways, Jurassic Park is a fantastic movie. I don't know what else to say. It's a perfect movie. It was obviously going to be on my list. As I was scrolling through this, I didn't think it was going to be included. But like early on in the 2000s, similar to The Phantom Menace, it had like a re-release, a 3D re-release, and they helped cross it over to $1 billion.
Phantom Menace is better than The Last Jedi.
So yeah, Jurassic Park. I love Jurassic Park as a whole. I think it's a very thrilling movie. I wasn't giving time of day. I think Jurassic Park is fantastic. I think it's one of the greatest cinematic masterpieces. It might be my favorite Spielberg movie. Wow, you guys are really cracking up over this one, aren't you?
Oh,
I'd rather watch Jar Jar Binks than that.
Javen, don't laugh at them. Don't support his stupid jokes.
Misa don't like Last Jedi. Misa.
You guys are disrespectful. What is going on? What is going on?
I watch. Misa don't like it.
I like The Phantom Menace too. I'm gonna say that.
But guess what? It was better than The Last Jedi. Whoa, R2, let's get the blasters.
Spinning, that's a good trick. But anyways, yeah. Wow. I think Jurassic Park, it's timeless. It's a timeless classic movie. Like I said earlier, it's probably my favorite Spielberg movie. Thank you for muting himself. I think it's a fantastic movie. Next to Jaws and what are the Spielberg movies I'm thinking of? I'm blanking on it now. Minority Report. It might be one of my favorite Spielberg movies of all time. So yeah, it's perfect. I love the soundtrack. I love the score. It's pretty what's it called? In the present era, because Alan from Jurassic Park and Laura Dern is returning for Jurassic Park, whatever, Kingdom 3, whatever.
We're gonna finally see Jar Jar Binks in the park. I mean, he is like a dinosaur.
Maybe. Don't laugh, David.
But low key, he does look like a dinosaur.
Not really.
Chris, not really. Whoa there! I've never seen you before. Misa wanna go home.
Chris.
Damn it.
I can't stop. I'm crazy.
You get crazy. So anyways, Jurassic Park. I can't say anything else about it. It's a timeless, awesome movie. I'm pretty sure everybody I talk to loves the movie.
Yeah, I mean, you're. I don't got nothing.
But number one is one of my favorite movies of all time. Probably in my top 10. It's one of the best movies I've ever seen. It's not my favorite Christopher Nolan movie, but I had to include it on this list because it's just probably the best comic book movie of all time, next to Logan and Spider-Verse now, and that is The Dark Knight.
The Dark Knight. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Which is pretty crazy. When I was making this list, I was like, should I put The Last Jedi over The Dark Knight just to anger some people? but
I'm glad you did because I'd have flamed you so bad.
He
really wanted to start a fire.
Number 3.
If you put Last Jedi over Dark Knight, bro, I'd have just shut the webcast down because our credibility would have been lost. It would have been all lost. I'd have to preserve our credibility by shutting the webcast down.
I think my next video for whenever it's my week next, I should say why The Last Jedi is better than The Dark Knight.
Whoa.
But I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Better be because
I'm kidding.
I love both. I think the channel to get shut down.
Wow.
YouTube's gonna shut our channel down for the lack of credible.
We're gonna get demonetized. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, I don't know what else to say. The Dark Knight is a perfect movie. Like I said earlier, I think it is my favorite comic book movie next to Logan and Spider-Verse. I think those are my top 3 favorite comic book movies. Number 4 being Spider-Man 2, Sam Raimi.
But you put Spider like the multiverse.
Yeah, the animated one. I think it's one of the best comic book movies of all time for me. I think it's definitely the best Spider-Man movie, next to Spider-Man 2.
I mean, they had so many times to try the Spider-Man. I mean, I'm surprised.
You're right. Same thing for Batman too. Like what?
First of all, but Batmans were all fine. Let's be honest. I mean, other than George, if you take out George,
no.
Take out George.
You can't say other than
Honestly, let me back up. George Clooney with the Batman credit card was better than Multiverse. Let me tell you that.
Wow, that is disgustingly wrong.
Batman Forever, definitely. Tim Burton's Batman's. Yeah, I mean,
Batman Forever is bad. Batman and Robin. Bad.
What?
You like Batman Forever? Isn't that the one with George Clooney? With what's it called? Val Kilmer?
Yes, that's arguably the best one of the 4.
What are you talking about, Chris?
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
Batman 1989 is the best one.
You're telling me that Jack Nicholson,
yes,
was better.
Yes,
than Val Kilmer and Jim Carrey and Tommy Lee Jones.
That's a well-known fact. It's not even an opinion, right?
That's not a fact.
Chris, are you okay? Are you mentally ill right now?
I'm not mentally. You see, Evan, we gotta take you off the show, man, because you keep making these crazy jokes. Like, come on, man. First of all,
people say it all the time in Harry Potter. Are you mental? Ron says it all the time. But
And is Harry Potter came out, when was the last Harry Potter came out?
2012,
right? A time period that we've said many times is not the same as it was anymore. You can't do that anymore.
Thanks, Dad.
But anyway, my point is that you can't tell me that all the Batmans are still better than The Last Jedi. George Clooney. I watched George Clooney. I remember watching George Clooney with that credit card.
I do too. I grew up on it.
And I'd watch it again before I put in The Last Jedi.
That's just wrong. But anyways, I got to get to my praise of The Dark Knight. I think Heath Ledger's Joker, who we won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor in 2008, or I guess it was in 2009, posthumously, I forget what it's called, when you die but you still receive the Oscar. Yeah, I think that was fantastic. And The Dark Knight kind of started a trend for the Oscars of including more than 5 Best Picture winners. After that, they started doing more. I think this movie should have easily won Best Picture in 2008. I can't remember what won Best Picture in 2000. Oh, it was Slumdog Millionaire. And I think Slumdog Millionaire is also a perfect movie too, but Dark Knight is also freaking fantastic. So yeah, Heath Ledger's Joker is incredible. I love Christian Bale as Batman. He's probably my favorite Batman. Sorry to all the Michael Keaton fans or Ben Affleck fans if they're already. I think. Who Who's the person that plays freaking Two-Face, Chris? I think he's very underrated in the movie. He doesn't get enough conversation about him.
The actor?
Aaron Eckhart. Aaron Eckhart. Fantastic as Harvey Dent. Fantastic. One of my one of my little gripes with The Dark Knight is that it's slightly overlong. I don't like his stuff with Batman towards the end of the movie, but
Aaron always plays these confused people. So I mean, he's typecast. He's typecasted for it. I mean, Frankenstein. I mean, the same.
I've never seen that.
Oh, okay. I mean,
I haven't seen a lot of Aaron Eckhart movies.
Olympus and London has fallen. Confused.
I have seen that.
It was
confused.
Confused.
He was president of the United States, wasn't he?
And he was confused. He got captured twice.
If you got captured, you can be, why am I captured? You're not going to be confused?
I think he should be. No, I'm going to say, why was he getting captured in the first place?
I mean, he is president of the United States. But anyways, yeah, I think The Dark Knight is a freaking incredible movie. It's one of my favorite Nolan movies, especially because this was an era in Nolan's filmography where he started using IMAX cameras. Now, the funny thing about Nolan is the way he shoots his movies are very natural. Like, you get a lot of quick shots, which really works well for Nolan. But I was watching a video about this. You can't do a lot of like quick character-focused shots while you're using IMAX cameras. So what he started doing ever since The Dark Knight is doing a lot of big, like, I hate using this word epic, but he started using a big, longer, epic, wide shots that could fit the IMAX camera. And that's why you get a lot of the great shots like Batman versus Joker, the whole like bike and truck sequence shot like on a wide screen. It really fits the IMAX camera. And it works a lot because he uses that same like kind of like technique in Interstellar and Dunkirk and Inception shortly after, which I think are mostly better than Dark Knight. I think Inception and Prestige are my favorite Nolan movies, by the way. I should probably do that next time, by the way. Favorite Nolan movies. That would be great because I love The Prestige. It doesn't get enough conversation about it. And yeah, I just love The Dark Knight. I think that's my list. That's my list. And I remember because when The Dark Knight first came out, I wasn't the biggest Dark Knight fan. I think Chris actually it was you who really convinced me of The Dark Knight. I think I came over to your house.
I mean, bro,
I think we watched it.
That movie's amazing.
It is amazing, but for some reason, how old was I? 2008. I guess I was 12 years old. When I first saw it, I was a child. Yeah, I guess I didn't love it when I first came out, but it took a lot of rewatches for me. Not a lot. I think it took consecutive rewatches for me to really love The Dark Knight. I really love it now. I have it in my Blu-ray right behind me because I watch it all the time. And it's pretty good. Right next to The Last Jedi.
You finally, God. I have every Star Wars except Last.
Don't you dare! Wow.
And
wow
on my shelf.
Wow.
I do. I have all 6.
You don't have Rogue One, do you?
Huh?
You don't have Rogue One?
No, I'm not. You're right. I don't buy that stuff. Rogue One was better than The Last Jedi, though. Hell,
should I do a Star Wars list next time, David?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Solo was better than Last Jedi.
I love Solo, actually. Make Solo 2 happen on Disney Plus, please. And yeah, that's my list. How'd you guys like that? It was interesting because I was going through the 46 movies, and I'm like, interestingly enough, there's not a lot of great billion-dollar movies. But I think this list pretty much is a lot of like 8 to 10 out of 10 movies, especially The Last Jedi.
Yeah, look, I thought the list was cool. I mean, there was some crazy stuff on there, for sure. You know, honestly,
I think we know your favorite is Toy Story.
Honestly, 2, right? If you watch if anybody watched The Tax Collector, which I was thoroughly disappointed.
I've heard it got bad reviews.
Wait, it was bad?
Oh my god!
Let's see. Hey, Javen, look up the Rotten Tomato score and answer that question for yourself.
19%. It was terrible.
Hey, I wanted Javen to guess it. Dang it, but okay.
I'm sorry. Yeah. That movie was terrible. I watched it.
So I should not buy it for $5.99?
No.
Okay.
Don't do it.
Terrible.
I really.
21.
I don't even want to believe.
Oh, it went up, Chris. It's 21 right now.
Movie was just terrible. I mean, it's a movie. It's one of those movies that had so much potential, and the
trailer was really good.
They let you. I don't know if it was because COVID, or I don't know if it was just because the director, because the guy who wrote it is the guy who wrote Training Day. So
yeah, David Ayer, he's had a lot of misses. He wrote Training Day. I love End of Watch with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena.
Everybody loves that. That's okay.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, I'll watch it, but I'm not a big fan of it. I watched Training Day the other day, showing actually on Saturday because my girlfriend had never seen it. I don't know.
How did she think? She liked it?
Yeah, she liked it. But
oh my god, this review!
It's so hard for me to see. Like, I don't know how much of David Ayers. I don't know how much of some of his movies that it wrote, and people put stuff in there, whatever.
Have you seen the movie Fury with David Ayer?
With the
tank movie. I love that movie.
That's a great movie. Brad Pitt.
That's probably his last great movie, and that came out 6 years ago.
Yeah, it might be because I was very shocked watching this, and it was crazy because the concept was there. It was the execution that was terrible.
How was Shia LaBeouf? Was he good?
I mean, he was okay, but he was underutilized. I didn't think that he was underutilized, and the problem was that you really didn't need it. It's like Jake Gyllenhaal and what's the guy's name? I forget.
Michael Pena.
Yeah, Michael Pena, right? That movie, I don't really think that you got so much depth in the people. Like, you watch them do cop stuff. Yeah, and it was just you knew that they were doing cop stuff, and the emotion came from the delivery of the scenes and the things that they did.
I can see that.
So in this movie, you didn't need some super backstory to Shia LaBeouf. You didn't need super backstory. We've seen it. I mean, I know I'm kind of going a little over here. I'm just kind of finishing it up. But you didn't really need to go into these guys. You could just say, hey, they're the tax collectors for the gangs. But their execution was just hit and miss. You kind of knew details. They were trying to make them, human, but because they spent so little time doing it, and then they seemed to do pointless tasks. Like, they did tasks like a video game just so it felt like they were like hard. So it's like, oh, let's just do this random task here, but it has really no connection. I'm just doing it to show that I'm hard as a character. And
so it didn't have anything to do with the overall story.
Yeah, I mean, there was really stuff like that happened, and it was like they did it, and then it introduced people, and you didn't even. There were things that happened that they did to introduce other characters that would later come down in the movie. But in all honesty, they never had to do that. It was, if you want a mob boss to help you, you can just show up to a mob boss's house. You don't need to establish who the mob boss is by doing a pointless task and then go show up. Like, part of it actually could be, part of the actual mystery and coolness of it could be, you're just showing up to someone, we don't know who the heck this is. But don't watch it. Don't watch it unless it's for free.
I was really going to consider it over the weekend. I'm like, it's $5 or $6, I think. So I'm like, should I rent it? I don't know.
All right,
but then, I heard bad things. So
I heard bad things too, and I bought the bullet and said, you know what? Let me just give it a try for myself. And I said, man, where's my $7?
Tragic.
Anyway, but
next week is your week, buddy.
My week?
Yeah.
I'm gonna come up with something. I'll come up with something. Maybe I need to do Why Last Jedi sucks. I
can't let you get the last word, guys. There you go.
But anyway,
fantastic movie.
Yeah, have a good night, everybody. Thanks for watching. Tune in next week.